maybe I'm just going to get started in doing introductions, and then we can kind of keep things on schedule and keep everybody watching and engaging. We appreciate your support more than you could ever know. Welcome to our first ever virtual event. My name is Lindsay Wilson. I'm a board member with the Craft Council of BC, and I think I'm actually the newest board member. And it's been a really cool experience for me to learn more about what everybody's doing at the Craft Council. To be honest, I am very interested in the arts and I don't have an artistic bone in my body. So it's been an absolute pleasure to get to know everybody and learn more about their craft and the techniques that they're using to make all these beautiful pieces. And it's just been a really great experience. And I hope that through doing this, I get to learn a little bit more about craft and how to become a craftier person. So with no further ado, I would love to introduce you to Sheryl MacKay. She is the host of North by Northwest on CBC, and she has so graciously agreed to interview all of our winners of the earring show this year, which is phenomenal. So Sheryl, can you please tell us a little bit about, yourself and your passion for the arts and what makes you want to be involved in supporting us?
Well, Lindsay, I'm kind of like you. I'm a wannabe or a sort of a sideline groupie, you know, when it comes to arts and crafts. But I don't know, as far back as I can remember, I have just been crazy about any kind of creative endeavor. I mean, it's that whole energy and passion and one of a kind, all those things that come in together, and the intelligence, the heart that goes into creating things that are beautiful and that we get to wear then ultimately, or put in our rooms or whatever. So I'm kind of addicted, really, and my job has afforded me a terrific ongoing opportunity to visit people in studios and learn about what they do. So it's been fantastic.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate the support so much. And
my pleasure.
I'm excited to have you on board for this event. And then with no further ado, I'd like to also introduce everybody to Bettina. She is also a board member of ours for Craft Council. And if you'd like to, Bettina, just say a few words about why you choose this as a fundraiser and how you got involved with the Craft Council as well. So I'm just going to bring Bettina in here. Hi, Bettina.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm also a board member of the Craft Council for many years. One of the Craft Council opportunities offered to showcase our artist members is our annual earring show. This event turns 7 this year. A total of 546 artists have been part of this event since its beginning, and 59 artists are participating this year. The Craft Council board first created this fundraising event in collaboration with the Vancouver Metal Arts Association, and if you're not familiar with them, do look them up. Since artists are often inundated with donation requests, it was important to the Craft Council board and our mandate that Craft Council fundraising events also provide income to participating artists. So the earrings are provided on consignment. This means the sale proceeds from the earring show are shared between the artist and the Craft Council of BC, just like an arrangement with the consignment store. The Craft Council's portion of the revenue assists to fund our craft-based professional development programs for artists, exhibitions, as well as opportunities to support and promote craft artists. This year, earrings have been created with traditional materials, including gold, silver, copper, bronze, clay, gemstones, and plastic. And a few of the non-traditional materials include moss, lichen, reclaimed wood, needle felt, found glass, eco-resin, traditional harvested caribou antlers, nitrile gloves, and ball bearings. So special thanks to everyone who helped organize it, to the artists, and all of you attending. Enjoy your favorite beverage and join me in shopping virtually.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Bettina. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about the Craft Council with everybody and what we're doing here. With no further ado, I'll go over the agenda a little bit with everybody. And One of the really exciting things we have here is some phenomenal door prizes. We also have, I'm just putting us live now. So we are officially live, everybody. We got there eventually. So I'm going to be sharing my screen from here. So hopefully everybody can see it. So please engage with us, ask lots of questions, use hashtag the Earring Show 2020 on Twitter and hashtag the Earring Show. Thank you for joining us on Zoom. Thank you everybody on Facebook for your patience in us getting you live. Post a drink of your choice with us. My Earring Show one here. And use hashtag Craftini to share. And we are also going to be doing a People's Choice Award, which is really fun. It gives you the opportunity to tell us what you like. I mean, they're all amazing, but what you like, and give kudos to the People's Choice Award winner as well. So there's a link that's on our Facebook that you can go to share your People's Choice vote. And here are some of the fun prizes that we have available for you to win. So throughout the live feed, I will be asking some questions. And if you participate and answer a question, that you get entered for a chance to win one of the door prizes. And then at the end of the live show, we will take everybody that submitted a question or an answer to a question and put them into a draw for a prize. So we've got the rainy day ceramic plate, potion, glass sculpture. We've got, these are really cute. The rain goose mitts and a beer set by Strange Fellows Brewing. So welcome officially to the Earring Show 2020. We have first up the Emerging Artists Collection. So an emerging artist is somebody who has started doing jewelry for no more than 2 years out of college. And I am very pleased to announce our runner-up, Rosie Hennenfeny. So Rosie's from Nova Scotia. She just graduated from NASCAP, and this is her 3rd year doing jewelry. So I'm going to bring her on, and Sheryl will be asking her some questions. Sorry. I'm not a pro at this, obviously. So thank you so much for your patience. I see that. There's Rosie. So I'm going to be bringing Rosie on right now. Hi, Rosie. Welcome.
Hi, Rosie.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this. It's awesome.
Oh, how are things in Nova Scotia today?
Oh, they're pretty rainy as usual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosie, I'm really loved looking at your work, and I'm really curious about your use of pulp in creating the earrings. Talk a little bit about why you like to work with pulp.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess my childhood was immersed in nature, and I've always been really attracted to natural patterns and natural growth and textures. And part of what I wanted to do is physically make the material that I wanted to make my jewelry out of. And I was inspired by creatures that nest and make hives, and kind of that process of constant repetition and growth that it takes to build these dwellings. Yeah, so and pulp was really good for that. It being lightweight, I can dye it, I can kind of change it, and the process of actually making it kind of involves casting it, letting it dry, and then breaking it down again, and remaking a form from that, which I thought was really interesting.
Is it a pleasure to work with that material itself then too?
It's very tactile, and cutting things and placing things incrementally, and I would definitely say that it's very relaxing for me, and yeah, just bringing back all the textures and things that I love from my childhood.
What are you thinking about when it comes to future jewelry designs using the same material?
Yeah, so I'm looking into kind of exploring ways that people have always made pulp, but kind of making it my own. I also think that adding different natural materials that inspire me and kind of remind me of growing up in Nova Scotia would be really interesting. So my goal is to kind of implement these natural materials into the pulp and then build jewelry from there. And I think that exploring what kind of fibers are important to people could make like a really interesting body of work and something that people could connect to.
Rosie, it's great to have a chance to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
And congratulations again. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you to everyone at the Craft Center or at the CCBC for getting this done. And yeah, just really amazing. All the effort put into this is really great. So thank you.
Thanks, Rosie.
Thank you.
Rain, for some reason I can't hear you. I mean, Lindsay. I can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I have, this has been fun. Sorry, I'm definitely learning so long. So thanks for putting up with me, guys. So I have our winner, Sorrell Van Allen, in the Emerging Artists Collection. So Sorrell is a West Coast jeweler and object designer with a background in red seal welding and artistic blacksmithing. She's currently a BFA candidate majoring in jewelry design and metalsmithing at the Nova Scotia College of Art and Design in Halifax. With no further ado, I would love to welcome Sorrell. Hello.
Oh.
Thank you
Hi,
so
Sorrell.
much for the introduction.
Hi, Sorrell. I'm Sheryl. Nice to see you.
Hi, Sheryl.
I'm so curious about the background in blacksmithing and welding. Which came first for you? Was it the working large with metal or working small with metal? Was it a trajectory from one way to the other?
Yeah, I started working large with metal welding, and then after that kind of wanted to explore the more artistic sides of it, metalworking. So I took a blacksmithing course at Kootenai School of the Arts, and that's kind of where I was able to explore more creative ways of working with metal. And then from there I moved to Nova Scotia College of Art and Design, originally wanting to go into sculpture and work on large-scale metalwork there. But took one elective in the jewelry department and realized it's just a fascinating world. So that's why.
Were you surprised that working so small was had such an appeal for you?
Hugely, yeah, because most of the stuff I'd worked on welding was over 15 feet by 15 feet. Like it was large containers and then buildings and whatnot. And then blacksmithing is just such a forceful activity. But there's such a challenge in the scale jewelry work requires, and you're kind of soldering one prong and then the other one's like melting off to the side. So there's a lot of, yeah, it just requires so much focus, and there's so many skills to learn.
We're just looking at some images right now of crocus earrings and water lily earrings and wasp earrings. And I'm really intrigued by the inspiration from nature, and yet the geometric that you pull into this too, the two sides.
Yeah, that was kind of a personal challenge to me in the last year. I always work with a lot of texture, bringing some of that blacksmithing in, and always a lot of hammering. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try something new. I'm just going to work with sheet, and I'm basically just going to saw it and limit my skills. And I was pretty surprised to kind of come up with these pieces and that they're so wearable and lightweight. It was really exciting. I don't often make earrings, so the challenge of the earring show was also an added bonus.
Do you work large anymore at all?
I make some vessels, so I made a few in the last year, and I've been accepted to a silversmithing residency in the winter, so I'm hoping to work large again.
So that's one of the things that you're hoping to be doing. What else are you planning now that you've graduated?
For now, it's been such a strange graduation. We haven't had the convocation with everyone, and I don't think we'll see that until the fall. So basically, I've kind of just been amassing my own little bits of tools and things in my home, and trying to kind of create a space where I can make some work. And luckily, these hand-sawn forms actually lend themselves really well to working at home because they don't require a lot of heat or a lot of tools. So yeah.
Thanks for your time. It's great to get to talk about this dramatic change in in your creative work. It's pretty fascinating.
Thank you very much.
If somebody had told you, I don't know, 5 years ago that you'd be working this big, I think you probably would have been surprised.
Yeah, I would have been. It's 5 years today, and I think my first job was kind of cutting all of these supports in Calgary under this school building and just like crawling around in the mud with all these sparks. So it's quite a change, this tiny little environment. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful work. Sorrell, lovely to talk to you.
Thanks, appreciate it. This is
Congratulations. Oh, don't forget to unmute, Lindsay.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping me on track.
You've got a lot of things you're keeping track of.
Opportunity to win a door prize. I was just saying that unfortunately I would be posting these in the chat for the Zoom. I will do my best to post them, and we'll post them after the event as well, so you can answer then for your chance to win. So what year was the Craft Council registered as a charitable arts service organization? If you post what you think the answer is, we'll enter you in for a chance to win one of the door prizes. So the three choices are A, 1972, B, 1979, and C, 1999. So submit your answers for a chance to win one of the door prizes, and we'll contact you after the show with your prize, whoever wins. And I'd like to now provide for you some entertainment for how to make a craftini. So we have so generously had Olivia Pabarchuk from Odd Society Spirits make a special cocktail called the Craftini specifically for Craft Council BC. So take a minute as Olivia teaches you how to make your own craftini at home.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia from Odd Society Spirits here in East Vancouver, and I'm going to walk you through making your craftini that you can sip on during the event today. Very, very easy. Lots of things you probably have on hand and easy to make at home. You use a cocktail shaker, ounce measuring device, and your strainer. So we're going to start with an ounce of Campari. You maybe bought a bottle of this. You maybe had it sitting in your liquor cabinet for years and didn't know what to do with it. It's fine. Now I get to use it today. I'm going to use an ounce of the Campari, and it goes into your cocktail shaker. Next ingredient we're going to use is an crème de cassis, so a black currant liqueur. You can use any brand that you have on hand. I'm using the Odd Society crème de cassis, which is available from the distillery that is now open on Saturdays. I'm going to use an ounce of the crème de cassis. Now, I'm going to use a little lemon juice, brighten it up and balance it out. We're going to use an ounce of that as well. And just to sweeten it up, make sure everything's all balanced out, we're going to use some honey syrup. So you make this from combining one part of honey and 1 part of hot water. That way the honey is going to mix with everything when we start adding ice. We're going to add half an ounce of honey. And from there, we are going to add ice to our shaker. Please stand by. camera magic. So you're just going to add a couple of ice cubes to your cocktail shaker. You want to get technical, 3 or 4 is going to work very, very well. Shaker tin, add it together, give it a little bump, you'll know it's sealed and it's not going to burst when it has that nice line for you here. It means it's sealed. Hold it with both hands and shake it. Shake it hard. Shake it over the oozy mic. You'll know it's done when it's kind of frosty on the edge and it's cold to the touch. When you open it, just give it a little pinch. We'll tell you to smack it open. Pinch it open. And take your strainer. You have a mesh on it. That is excellent. We're going to strain into your glass of choice. I'm using my coupe glass. And from there, garnish with your local artisan's earrings of choice. Elegant. And there we go. Your craft TV for 2020. Drink up, enjoy, stay safe.
Oh, fantastic. So thank you so much to Olivia for sharing her craftini with us. And with no further ado, I would love to move forward and introduce our limited edition collection. Sorry, guys. Always when you're live, you get so awkward. So the limited edition collection for 2020. So a limited edition is a small batch item that is made, not mass produced. So really just a beautiful piece of limited work. And you're not gonna see everybody walking down the street with it. So we actually have a tie, which is fantastic. So I would love to introduce the winner of Design Innovation, Vanessa Aegirsdottf. So I will bring her in. And there we go, I've got Vanessa here. So Vanessa is from the Yukon, and she has a really, really cool story about how she uses fur in her design. And I'd love to have her tell you a little bit more about it, but she has really interesting and beautiful pieces, which you can see right there. So I will have Sheryl continue with her. Thank you, Sheryl.
Thanks so much, Lindsay. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Sheryl. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you over this contraption as well. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Love your earrings.
Thank you.
Tell us about this use of fur. How did you become inspired to use fur in your jewelry making?
It was really about opportunity. My husband is a fur harvester. He's Tlingit, which is one of our local First Nations groups. And the fur that I'm using comes from his family trap line. And so he grew up trapping there. His mom was born on the trap line. And so I just had really easy access to the material.
Have you been out trapping too?
Yeah, I actually just in the spring got certified as a fur trapper. And so coming this November, I'll be setting up my own actual trap line adjacent to my husband's trap line.
So talk a little bit about the idea of designing then, using fur and using such a very, a special kind of material in that sense.
Well, I mean, designing with it is always a challenge because there are limits with what you can get it to do. You know, you're dealing with not just the hair, but you've got the skin portion as well, trying to conceal seams and raw edges and that sort of thing, and trying to make it really classy and timeless. But I think one of the most important things that we've tried to do with the fur collection is to make it really accessible. Fur is kind of associated with the elite and is considered, you know, expensive. And we wanted to make a product that was available to everybody in every sort of income bracket. You know, we've got products that start at about $60, and I feel like, you know, that's accessible for most people.
Just looking at some lynx hoops here, giant hoops, and wolverine and fox hooks. How do you decide what to do with any particular type of fur that you're bringing in?
sometimes it's dictated by the thickness of the hide. Certain furs, the hide is quite thick, and so it limits how I can manipulate the skin. But most of them, like lynx and fox, they're really thin skinned, so they're really easy to work with, manipulable, easy to stitch and to, you know, bend and shape. So the furs tell me what they want to be.
And when people come in to your shop, or when you're dealing with, when people could come into your shop, are people curious about this whole idea, or do they feel concerned at all over the fact that fur is being used, really?
That's an Orgh question, and my answer is yes. So, you know, in the store, I kind of have a 50-50 split of who's coming through. We've either got locals who are familiar with the use of fur in our local culture, and the other half of the folks coming through are visitors, and they understand that it's part of the culture, but they don't know why. So it's my job to share with them, you know, that this is an ancient practice, that it's not, you know, it's not something that is done carelessly. It's highly regulated, both by you know, our territorial government, but also because the fur that we're using is sourced through Indigenous trappers, including my husband, that those folks are also held to a cultural standard in addition to the territorial regulations. And so I get to share a bit about the trapping practice, the equipment that's used to do it, the attitude that goes into the process before we even set a single trap, and some of the distinctions between, you know, that our belief is that a life is being given, that the animal's choosing instead of us going out and taking it. So there's little perspective shifts and lots of storytelling that occurs.
Do you, besides the traditions around trapping and the practices around that, do you pull the other traditions in terms of how it influences what you're creating then as well, Vanessa?
That's a big question. That I guess I can quickly say yes. There are some furs that the teachings that come from my husband's culture and his family that limit what I'm allowed to use. So for example, we don't use bear because bear spirit is very similar to human spirit. There's also river otter, sea otter, and mink that I'm not allowed to use. So I get asked all the time to repurpose folks, you know, grandmother's mink coats, and I'm not allowed to use it. I'm not allowed to touch it.
So those are some of the things that come in to influence what you're doing with the material, or what material you're using. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about the natural environment? How much is your design inspired by what's around you in the Yukon?
It's a huge component. If you look through the different materials that are being used, everything is, you know, as natural as it can be. Metals are natural, leathers are natural. The only non-natural material that I'm using in any of the construction is a synthetic sinew. And the reason I use that instead of actual sinew is that it's quite difficult to make. I don't have the skills to make real sinew for the stitching. And the synthetic sinew, it's a waxed nylon. It's really accessible, and it's what all of the traditional sewers in the area are using. So that's a material that everyone's familiar with, and it's available, which most things are not in the Yukon.
Vanessa, it's beautiful work. It's lovely to have a chance to speak with you on this, and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I need to say thank you to everybody who is watching this on Facebook Live from my computer screen, and I'm very sorry that you are having to see my computer screen, and I deserve to be told to organize it better. But on that note, I am very happy to announce our next winner. For technical excellence, Barbara McFadden. Sorry. Definitely fun trying to figure out how to get everybody on here. So Barbara, I'm just bringing you in here.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
So congratulations. I know I just need to get you to share your video.
Okay.
There we go. So a little bit about Barbara. She uses a technique called Kembu, and it's very, very interesting. So I will let Sheryl dig a little bit deeper into that, but I think it's something that people will be very, very interested to learn about.
Hello, Barbara.
Hello, Sheryl.
And congratulations.
Wow, thank you so much.
I've been enjoying so much looking at your work, and I would love you to explain more about the technique that you use.
Well, kumbu is an ancient Korean technique. The exact origins are obscure, but it's still believed in many areas of Asia today that wearing pure gold is helpful for longevity, your health and wealth and happiness in life. And it's a beautiful meditative process. The metallurgy behind it is one where there is a diffusion bonding between the gold and the silver. Mm. It's an actual atom exchange under precise heat and pressure is applied. So it's just a very detailed but meditative process I really enjoy.
I'm just looking at one, for example, here, the half moon that looks like a leaf, a gold oak leaf or some kind of a leaf on the silver. And so they're bonded together.
Yep, they are bonded together. It is a special gold that it's much heavier than gold foil. Hmm. And I've been doing this process for quite some time, so I've been exploring different ways of cutting the gold shapes out before I apply them. And the heat is applied just about 900 degrees. So the earring itself has to be completely fabricated first. So all the parts of my earrings are 18 karat gold. And they are all fabricated first because they require soldering at much higher temperatures. Right. So the kumbu is applied on embossed silver that I also make myself. And I enjoy combining the patterns of the embossed fine silver and 18 karat gold, and then adding the kumbu.
The detail is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. How were you introduced to this particular process, Barbara?
Well, I was in graduate school up in New Paltz, New York, and there was a Korean student, and I actually was watching her. I was just visiting over in her bench area, and I was watching her do it, and I was just fascinated because it's really very magical. It's just so satisfying when there's that instant that the gold it just gets sort of sucked onto the silver when it's just the right temperature.
That does sound quite delightful.
It takes a little practice.
Yeah, I was going to say, when it works, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you've been, like you say, this has been what you've been working with for quite a while. Do you ever get, I don't know, tired of it, or do you ever wish to change your approach?
Well, I do. This collection is just one collection of the work I do. I also do a lot of enameling, which in the background, I'm in my studio now, so you can see all the jars of my enamels. And so when I get tired of the kumbu, then I just go into an enameling phase.
Which is another very detail-oriented
It is.
Process, right?
Multi-process, but there's so many different techniques in that. I really never stop learning. I love the jewelry and metalsmithing and making, and even with the kumbu, even though I've been doing it a long time, there's always a little new discovery that is, very exciting when I find it.
Barbara, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Sheryl.
It's lovely to see your work. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. On that note, I think it would be a really great time for us to do our next door prize question. And if you guys get this wrong, I'll be worried, because we just got a good explanation of that. So what is kumbu? And I didn't come up with these answers. Is it A, steamed dumpling, B, an ancient jewelry technique originating in Korea, which is used to attach gold foil to sterling silver, or C, a stir-fried dish? So we will post that question as well for everybody to answer, and every single answer will be submitted for a door prize draw. So I'm super, super excited to invite our next guest up. Her name is Christina. She is a fantastic stylist from Red Carpet Ready, and she is going to show you some tips and tricks on how to style an outfit based on some really great statement piece earrings. So I'm just bringing Christina in now, and I think she's going to have some pretty cool things to share with everybody. There we go. Christina, hi, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
Oh, great. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for supporting us here. I would love for you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself and share some great tips on how to style an outfit. You look phenomenal, so I know I trust you are going to send us in the right direction.
Well, first of all, I have to give a little bit of a shout out to Rosie Hennenfeny for letting me customize my red dress with her runner-up earrings. So congratulations, Rosie, on that. That's amazing. Hi, everybody. I just want to also say thank you to the Craft Council BC for including me in this event. I'm like so pumped. I'm just sitting here having my cocktail, listening to all these amazing artists talk about their pieces and creations. And, you know, as an artist myself, I might not make jewelry and, you know, have the, you know, the passion that you do with making these pieces, but I can say that I know how it feels to have passion because I am a makeup artist, I do hair, and I do styling. And so when I beautify my clients and I help them create a look, I get that same passion from the completion of one of those experiences that I have with somebody. And I've been in business now about 8.5 years, and I can truly tell you that I am still just as excited today as I was when I first started my business. So I just wanted to say thanks for letting me be a part of this. I'm super pumped. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have a 100% mobile business. I do makeup, hair, and personal styling on the go. I pretty much do everything from television to magazine editorials to weddings to anything that has to do with personal styling, galas. I work with a lot of celebrities in Vancouver for appearances and all kinds of different things. So the list could go on, and I have to say, in my humble opinion, I could have never imagined in a million years my career would take me this far. And, you know, meeting people like yourselves and having opportunities like this is something that I truly, truly love. And, you know, during this virus, I mean, I'm so missing seeing people face to face. It's killing me, but I'm so thankful that I get to do virtual things like this and, you know, continue to do beauty and lifestyle videos on my YouTube channel and continue to do tips and tricks on my Instagram stories. So thank you so much for including me tonight. So on that note, I am wearing a pair of Rosie Hennenfeld's red pulp cut earrings. These actually retail for $200. And when I saw them on the website, I was like, I need those. You have to send me those. So I was so happy to get these and that they were available. And I thought that I would pair this with a red dress. I actually love the color red. And the reason why I chose to wear red on red is because to me, they're both very statement. This outfit to me sends a message of, I'm here to have fun. I love color. And I really just love how it's a presence. So, you know, the work that goes into her earrings is also present in the rest of your outfit. It shows confidence, it shows color, and it just really is something that when you're walking, I just feel like you radiate the confidence. So that's why I chose these earrings tonight. So Rosie, thanks for creating such a great piece. So I'm gonna hold the earrings up to the screen, and then I'm gonna show you behind me what I would pair with the earrings. So just forgive me while I step out of frame. So my next earrings that I have that I'm gonna show you what I would pair with is a metal fractured hoop. And these are made by Aaron Austin, and these retail for $235. Now, what I think about when I see these earrings, and this is what I do with all of my fashion. Fashion, I want you guys to remember this, should be fun and it should be easy. If fashion is difficult for you and it's frustrating and you don't feel good in what you're wearing, then change your outfit. You are expressing your true personal style through clothes and jewelry and accessories. So when you think of shopping and getting dressed, wear something that you feel comfortable in. So when I look at these earrings, I think to me they're flowing. There's a lot of movement in them. They're very airy. So the dress that I actually chose to go with this one is this blue dress right here. So this is a very beautiful long maxi dress. It's very flowy. It's got slits in the front, so it shows a little bit of your leg when you're walking. It's got a low cut. And to me, I would style these earrings with this dress because they both flow to me. I could easily throw my hair up into a ponytail. I could leave it down just like I'm doing tonight, and I could tuck my hair behind my ear to showcase the earring, showing the neckline of the dress too. So that's what I would style with these earrings. And obviously there's so many choices, but for tonight, that's the dress I chose. So next up, we are going to move on to, so these are microgreens, and these were made by Bridget Catchpole, and these retail for $150. Now, when I see these earrings, again, with same with Rosie's earrings, I think pop of color, and I think something really unique. Like, these are a statement piece. If I saw somebody wearing these in their ears, I would be like, can you please tell me what are those earrings all about? Because they're so interesting to me. Even my husband said, those are pretty cool earrings. The back has this really nice detail. It's almost like a shimmery bead. And please forgive me for not using the correct terms in jewelry design, but I think these are really cool. So what I would personally do with these earrings, you can see behind me, I've got this beautiful silk kind of purplish pink camisole. And then I've actually got this really great high-waisted work pant. It's got a little bow up here to tie. Now I would actually consider this something that would be for office wear. So when everybody goes back to work or you are going to an office, I thought I would incorporate summer and functionality. So you could actually wear this beautiful pop of color that brings out the pop of color in the earrings, but then you could really dress it down with a nice office pant and a great open-toed shoe or a little sling back. And it's a really, really great way to have something exciting on the top, bringing out the pop of color, but something realistic with an office pant. So these ones are really, really exciting, and I'm glad you guys throw these in the bag too. So next up. Now these here are super, super cool, and I'm so happy for Vanessa Aegirsdottf. These here are actually $60. These are a steal because I just heard her story, and I'm so proud, and I love everything that she's doing. I love the ethical part as well. These are just spunky to me. These are like everyday earrings. I mean, I wanted to show you what I would do with these earrings because I would want you to think, okay, for $60, that's a steal. And I want to be able to have lots of options to wear with these. So I'm going to move the camera down here. Okay, so what I chose was a crisp white t-shirt. We all need one in our wardrobe. They're great with a high-waisted skirt. They're great with jeans. They're great with so many different things. And a great pair of jeans, a little bit of frayed on the knee, a little bit of roll up like a boyfriend fit, and this awesome hat. Everybody needs a hat because if you're having bad hair days, you don't feel like styling your hair, you throw on a hat, you throw on a cute outfit, and you throw on these fox hook earrings, and you are good to go. But I also incorporated, now you can't really see it very well, but this is actually a black off the shoulder. This is a black off the shoulder dress. It's fitted kind of like the one that I'm wearing. And I actually would pair that with it because you could throw your hair up in a bun with this beautiful off-the-shoulder black dress. You show nice detail of the skin, you put your hair up, and you've got these conversation piece earrings in your ears that everybody is going to ask about. So I really wanted to show you the versatility of office, casual streetwear, something summery and flowy for the, a wedding or maybe a little event engagement you're going to, cocktails on the patio. I just really wanted to show you the versatility of all of these artist pieces and how amazing they would be for your inventory. And I do have to say that, I'm a person that loves a good steal on clothes. I love to shop high-end consignment, but sometimes there's pieces that are unique and designed by somebody by hand. And the story that goes along with it is the reason why I would love to invest in them and have them in my inventory. So I'm so thankful that I got to talk about these pieces and meet these artists. And I hope that all that was really helpful for you guys. And I hope when you're shopping on the website, you can kind of keep some of those tips in your mind on how to style these pieces.
Oh, fantastic, Christina. Thank you. I knew you were going to have some fantastic tips, having met you and had the opportunity to work with you. And I'm going to take all of those with me moving forward in my styling. So thank you so much for your time and for your support of the Craft Council. It was an absolute honor to have you on here. Thank you so much,
Christina.
Thank you
for having me, Lindsay. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So I have one more question for us for our opportunity to win some door prizes. So our next question is, what is Marini? Is it A, eye drops, B, colored patterns or images made in a glass cane that are revealed when the cane is cut in cross sections like a loaf of bread, or is it C, sea life? So head to Facebook or on here, answer the questions for your chance to win some of the fantastic door prizes that we have available. So without further ado, I would like to move forward. And sorry, once again, thank you everybody on Facebook Live for putting up with with all of the technical difficulties that we've had here. So for the 2020 earring show, one of a kind collection, I am very, very excited to introduce to you our winners. So we have, just waiting for my screen to catch up. As our runner-up, we have Janice Kerman, and I am very excited to bring her on. A little bit about Janice. She completed her fundamental studies in jewelry design and began experimenting with various materials. Janice Kerman Design was established in 1980, and her focus was on design and production of limited edition collections, fashion accessories, and unique pieces. So I am going to bring Janice on now, and Sheryl will ask her some great questions. So we are just bringing you in. Janice, congratulations.
Hi.
Hi, Janice.
Oh.
Hi, everybody.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Your work is just so exquisite, Janice. My goodness. How long have you been working in the field? How long have you been creating this beautiful jewelry?
For technically now 48 years, and I'm actually sort of on my way to slowly figuring out how to step away from it.
Oh.
So I started when I was 15, and I just had my 63rd birthday, so that's kind of the time frame.
What were you doing when you were 15 that got you started?
I was actually at summer camp, and I had some issues with my knees. I was waiting to have some surgery done, and the only place that they could put me was arts and crafts. And there was somebody teaching jewelry, and the rest, they say, is history.
What an amazing, sort of a serendipitous kind of thing to have happen.
I kind of feel that somehow I would have come to it anyways, but that was exactly serendipitous.
What a great early start, too.
Yeah. Yeah, which meant that it seemed like such a long time, and it has morphed into so many different kinds of careers through it. But, you know, I've been very fortunate to be able to be a working jeweler through all this time.
Now, you've been especially attracted to, as we can see, working with gemstones and really fine materials. What was it about that aspect of the work, or that material, that really called to you, Janice?
I think that at the very beginning, it was mostly, I stayed away from gemstones, but around the time that I decided to focus only on one-of-a-kind work, the gemstones became the color palette. And for me, a lot of the work, neither of the two examples that I sent are asymmetrical, but it is something that I'm mostly known for. And by having all these different stones, it allowed me to play with creating these color compositions where there was a mismatched or slightly asymmetrical combination that was done for earrings in particular.
Yeah, I love looking at the asymmetry in your work. Yeah. Was that something that was there really early on for you, or something that you worked towards?
I feel like it was just a design innateness in sort of how I approach things. I think that even in my home, where I would place something that would not necessarily be just what you would think how it should be laid out. So I think it just translated naturally. So to the point that as my daughter was growing up and seeing me working, when I made an identical pair, she looked at me and she went, "But Mommy, they're the same," for her, which made them unusual versus the asymmetry which she was accustomed to seeing.
I've always imagined that working with gemstones especially, I mean, it just seems like you're surrounding yourself with such objects of beauty to begin with. It must be quite an atmosphere, really, in some ways.
Well, it's really interesting because just adding a couple of new stones to my inventory and then opening the stone trays could just bring in things that had been sitting there for years, but now was the moment to use them. So yeah, no, I mean, it's like adding any kind of new component to your toolbox. But yeah, the color and the shapes and stuff definitely make that happen.
Now, you mentioned that you're thinking of kind of easing back or easing out. What's next?
You know, I think the thing for me is, because I've been at this for so long, the what's next is not making a decision about that. I think I feel like I need to just step away and just let life happen rather than knowing what I'm going to be doing every moment. So I'm sure there'll be some sort of creative thing that's happening, but for right now, in the last 2 years, I was mostly doing one-of-a-kind work, not one-of-a-kind, excuse me, commission work as I was winding it down. And now I'm just really stopped even doing that. So yeah, here we are.
Did I read somewhere that your daughter is working with you now too?
My daughter and I in 2011 started a line because she was doing her studies at NYU and she was having her graduate show. And she wanted specific jewelry to go with the work, and that beget a whole other line. And that line is called Bon des Quatre. And that she has a full-time job. She lives in the States and she has a full-time job. So ultimately, as work became more, it took over her life a little bit more, the line. So we had 6 different categories, 6 different lines that we did for that. And so yeah, I mean, it was really amazing to be able to have that kind of collaborative thing. We'd be on holiday and we'd have our time together to sort of sit down with wine and whatever and to draw, and it was her concept, but because she had me being able to make it in the studio, that made it happen.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Janice, it's great to have this chance to have just even this brief chat with you. Lovely and beautiful work. A real treat to see that. Congratulations.
Thank you for making this happen, and really with these times still to be connected like this is amazing.
Thank you so much, Janice. Congratulations. Your work is beautiful.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Have a great day.
You too. Ciao.
I am going to ask our final question for our door prizes. So same deal as before, everybody just put your answer in any sort of comments portion and we will find our winners and we'll do a draw for everybody. So I'm going to ask everybody what they think the Craft Council of British Columbia is. Does it A, support all stages of artistic practice in the craft sector? Does it B, create opportunity for artists to exhibit, sell, and produce art? Does it C, showcase the work of over 400 member artists in the CCBC Shop Gallery? D, provide craft-based professional programs for artists? Or E, all of the above? And finally, as well, thank you so much everybody on Instagram for putting up with my live feed videoing here. It's great to have you all still joining us. So our earring show winner is Sherry Pelican for the One of a Kind collection. So beautiful pieces here, as you can see. And I'm going to bring Sherry on right now. Just quickly unmute her and share her video. Hi, Sherry, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, I think we have you coming on, just a moment. Yes, we can see you. Fantastic, Sherry, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So I will have Sheryl jump into asking some questions. I know people are going to be really interested in everything that you've done here. You've got some beautiful techniques, so I'll let you ladies get to it.
Hi, Sherry. Hi, great to talk to you.
Good to talk to you, Sheryl.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'd love to know about, I'd love to know about your work, and I'm just looking at these red bead boxes, for example,
Yes.
and this combination of the metalwork and the beads. Tell me about how that comes together for you.
For many, many years before I did metalwork, I was a bead worker, and I would do off-loom bead weaving or bead embroidery, and I reached a stage where I wanted to start to make my own metal pieces to go with the beads, and that's when I decided to start taking courses in metalsmithing. And then once I had had some time behind me at the torch and learning other techniques, I decided where I wanted to take it was I wanted to find unique ways to combine the beadwork with metal.
And I read somewhere too that you're very inspired by an urban kind of an architecture, an urban landscape, and I think we really get a sense of that in some of these pieces. What is it about that, Sherry, that calls to you?
I think even though we live in such a great area here in Vancouver and there's so much natural beauty, I'm really drawn to the structures that people make. And it doesn't, by structure, I don't necessarily mean buildings, but it's the textures on the sidewalks or the asphalt or the moss on the roofs, the manhole covers. There's so many beautiful textures and shapes that you can see just by walking through the city.
As you're saying that, I'm just looking at the semblance earrings here that are red with kind of a, looks like almost like a little perforated grill over the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of an example then, I think, of what you're saying.
It is, and I attended a workshop last year, and when I was thinking about those earrings, it was more of a continuation of some explorations I'd done in that workshop, trying to find more dimension in my work by using the acrylic or something that was translucent, and then having a pierced metal piece, whether it was perforated or saw patterned, behind it, so you could have that quality of light shining through. But it also gave it a little bit of a kind of a glimpse of something that you may recognize somewhere in the back of your mind. If you're walking down the street and you walk past a window, then there might be shapes, there might be light, and it just, for me, it kind of triggers a memory.
Just a sort of evoked by that texture, like you say, or the shapes, or something about the way things go together.
Yes.
So when you go out for a walk, are you constantly being inspired then in the environment?
I do find it. I mean, I'm always looking around, the other day just walking and noticing the way the tree roots had pushed up through the concrete, and then you have the rough edges of the concrete where the sidewalk is starting to break away from itself. And I look at those edges and I think, it's such an interesting pattern, because I do, even though my work tends to be structured, I do like more organic patterns on the metal itself, or with the beads. The beads actually add plenty of texture in and of themselves. They're very tactile, and I get that nice bumpy texture that is so pleasing.
I know, I just want to reach through here and touch those little beads in that box there.
Yeah, it's one of those things you sort of play and just feel the texture. And that's one of the things I enjoy, particularly about working with the beads. But yes, walking around the neighborhood, going down into the city, it's just a treat to be able to see things, whether it's the imprints on a building that have been made by the builder, or it's the effect of nature on older buildings, the grain of wood that's been very weathered, or where some of the aggregate on a stucco building has started to peel away. There's so many things you just have to take the time to observe.
Sheryl, it's terrific to get a chance to talk to you and to see this work. Thanks for your time and congratulations.
Thank you, Sheryl. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Sheryl. I will let you go. Congratulations. With no further ado, I want to introduce our president, Stephanie Curtis, as well. I will also like to give a huge thank you to Sheryl MacKay. All of our interviews are done, so I will let you get off the line if you'd like. And it was an absolute pleasure to have you here and doing the interviews with our amazing artists. And thank you so much for your support of the Craft Council. It means the world to us.
Thanks,
and thank you for walking me through and helping me in our first virtual event.
It was great. Good for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. I am going to bring in Stephanie and we will talk soon. Sheryl, thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye. And thank you, everybody, for your patience as you see all my back end work here. Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
Great. Hi, everyone. Just want to say big thanks to you all for joining us today on our first virtual event. Your purchases this year provided revenue to 30 artists, which is great. Over the past 7 years, the earring show has raised $42,433. We're very excited. We just found our shop, so you can shop our earrings from the earrings show until the end of June. If you've been missing our craft shop on Grand Island, you can find it online. I wanted to propose a toast to staying connected. So on our next slide, you'll see, different ways you can get connected. So following us on social media and share our posts, which some of you are already doing, which is great. Making sure to subscribe to our newsletter on our website for news and upcoming events. And of course, you can join the Craft Council of BC as a member. You don't need to be an artist to join. You can be a craft collector, a craft lover, a local craft supporter, or an art student. Everyone is welcome. If you like this event, stay tuned. We have more coming. So here's a list of the events coming up. We are keeping very, very busy here at the Craft Council. I also wanted to make a toast to everyone who made this event happen, from coast to coast to coast. So first, a huge thank you for each of our incredible craft artists, the Craft Council's board, the Craft Council's committees, and our dedicated volunteers. And I want to also thank, thanks to, of course, our host today, Sheryl and Lindsay. Thank you. Also, our guest speakers, Christina and Olivia. Thanks to our amazing volunteers, especially and Jody. To Megan of the Communication Marketing Committee. Thank you very much. Of course, the 2020 earring show would have not been a success without you. So again, thank you. So thank you very much for being part of today's show and supporting craft artists as well as the Craft Council of BC. I just want to congratulate again every one of the earring show award winners, and thank you all for being part of the event. Thanks again for your support.
Thank you everyone for your support, and thank you for staying on. It's been unbelievable, and we had over 100 people tune in tonight. And so exciting, and thank you all for your support again when we can open up our doors, and don't ever hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. You all were amazing.
Bye-bye.
Bye.